Hey there, and welcome to the Fiihr Factor, the podcast that shines a light on real stories, smart strategies, and the occasional hard truth about running a business. Think of this as your quick dose of clarity before your first cup of coffee. Let's go. Today, I get to speak with Ben Christian. He's got a company called Concrete Constructors. How you doing, Ben?
Doing well. How are you, sir?
Awesome. I really appreciate you taking the time and excited to hear your wisdom. So why don't we start out? Just tell me a little bit about your business and how you got into it.
So I am a VP of operations here at Concrete Constructors, and I've been in the construction industry probably since I was mid-teens. Got exposed to it through some mentors and got to learn how to build some things, build some decks. I'm a woodworker by trade, trim carpenter. And then I started building furniture. And then I figured out that, you know what, a house is just a big piece of furniture with electrical, plumbing, and heating. Took that same skill set and got involved right out of college. I actually started a company when I was in college where I did custom cabinetry and trim and furniture and had a sawmill, learned how to cut trees and mill them and turn them into furniture and trim, and got recruited out of college after I graduated at Texas A&M, got recruited to go be a part of a large project in Galveston for a big GC there out of Alabama, Braswell and Gorey. They had one of the largest condo projects going on at that time. I think it was 2005, 2006. And got exposed to concrete there. It was two towers. It went about 360 feet out of the ground. And it was all concrete, from the piers all the way to the cap. So got some exposure with concrete there. And that job ran its course. I went back to doing what I was doing, is working for myself. Traveled a lot doing flood restoration work. Learned a lot about flood restoration on that new project. And you wouldn't think that you'd get into flood restoration on a new project, but we had all kinds of issues with water intrusion. So we got really good at fixing water damage.
Yeah, you're doing flood damage on a building that's not even built yet.
Well, yeah, it was quite the, how can I say this? It was an epic disaster in full speed. And it was do it even if it's wrong. I think that was the motto on the job. Do it even if it's wrong. But learned a lot about interiors, learned a lot about concrete there. Obviously, after that, I went to pretty much on my own doing flood restoration. Then I hung that up, started building homes, and then that kind of ran its course too. Had a lot of family here in the Houston area, and had a wife and my first child. She was 2 at that time, and decided where we were living probably wasn't the best setup for what I needed to be doing, and then got an opportunity to come sit in front of 2 gentlemen by the name of Sean Turner and Billy Parker. They are the owners of Concrete Constructors, and we teamed up, and one thing just led to another. I've been here about 6 years, and we've grown quite a bit. We're actually in a brand new office right now. We just moved in probably 2.5 months ago. Yeah,
I got to ask you a couple questions on between there, because this is really, I'm very curious about this. Okay. You started with woodwork, then you started building furniture, then you started building houses, then you started cutting down trees to make wood to build stuff. Is that correct?
So what had happened was I was a poor kid at Texas A&M, didn't have any furniture, had some buddies that had some property where they had Eastern red cedar, which is predominantly here in the College Station, Austin area. You got a lot of Eastern red cedar. It's a beautiful wood, very easy to work with. Started building me some furniture, and then not too long after that, people would come over. Hey, that's really cool. You think you would sell something like that? And then that just stirred, you know what, I enjoy doing this. I started building furniture for folks I knew. I used to barter for it in college. I'd barter for transmissions on my truck. There was a guy at Amco there in transmissions in College Station, and I built him he wanted an outdoor picnic table, and I needed a new transmission in my truck, so we bartered. So I learned a lot in college. But then I got hooked up with probably one of the best carpentry mentors that I had an opportunity to work with. His name was Cullen Cabler there in Bryan College Station. He built cabinets and did the trim on these really nice custom homes. Nice. But he was always wanting to be in the shop. He didn't really necessarily want to go and do the trim. I enjoyed being on site on brand new construction. I took over the trim, and then he helped me get started with my own LLC. He started sub,
Wow.
he started subbing out this work to me, so I was going to school, trimming homes and building furniture. And then one thing led to another, got some equipment, I got a bigger shop. And then that's when where I was located at, you couldn't miss it. It was an old, like, metal barn on one of the main drags in between College Station and Caldwell.
Oh.
And people always saw us working on this stuff. And so they're like, hey, man, I got a bunch of trees if you want to come cut them down. Because I'm not going to get into the weeds too much, but it's a lot of cattle and farm areas around there, predominantly camp cattle. Eastern red cedar, man, they suck up a lot of water. So they got to remove them. So if they're going to remove them, and they got this kid in college that's doing stuff with it, hey, I'll let you come get it as much as you want. So I got accustomed to getting trucks, trailers, cutting down trees, and then loading them up. Got a sawmill. This is all while I was still going to Texas A&M.
I wanted to ask you. So, but people don't just. Most people. This sounds complicated, and you just started. I get it, but there has to be some sort of modeling or something, or maybe it's just young and dumb and full of what. Just
No,
like I don't know.
no, not really. I think it was probably it all got established at a very young age. I've got three other siblings other than myself. My mom raised us, single mom.
Okay.
We had some hard times growing up, and we learned to work and
Yeah.
learned about work ethic. If we wanted something, we had to work, go get it. We wanted tennis shoes that were overpriced. We had to work for it. Anything we wanted, we had to go and work for. And then that just spurred all that, being a little bit self-reliant, self-sufficient, and took that mindset into college. And there wasn't really a lot of people telling me no, or this is a bad idea, or maybe you should think about it. It was just organic. It just happened. One thing just led to another. And so always been very inspired and intrigued by the construction process, whether it's doing concrete or building furniture or anything in between. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy learning. I've had the opportunity to be around some very intelligent people in this industry. And they've never turned down any question I've asked. And being able to take the knowledge that I've learned from some of these folks that have a lot more experience than I do, and being able to utilize it out in the field. And it's a growing process. You
Yes.
you just don't get it. It takes time.
I think a really good point to stand on here is that, hey, look, people really want to help, and successful people generally got successful because they had skills, but also because they care about other people and they want to see other people succeed. And that's how you grow and get better. And so it's cool that people weren't telling you no, they're just showing you how, even to the point where they're helping you get your own business started. That's pretty epic.
It is, but I think that, even when I was going to school 25 years ago, there wasn't a lot of young guys, and I think it's probably gotten even less, that really wanted to get out there and work.
Yep.
And I think that had a lot to do with it. They see this young kid that, hey, he's got some drive, he's got some work ethic, he's got some integrity, he's going to show up and get the job done, do good work. They want to, and I'm the same way too. Now that I see guys that are coming up to the ranks and they got a little spark, they got some work ethic, they got some drive, ambition, they want to they want to make their life better. And there's just not a lot of young guys. And I'm sure they're out there, but I haven't run across very many of them.
Yeah, it's true. And I'm always careful because I don't want to be the old guy that just thinks the young generation is not great. That's every generation. So I always temper that. But I think there is some value. I grew up on a farm in Iowa, and I pitched a lot of shit and baled a lot of hay. And I think I tell you what, learning how to do a good day's work and being able to fix something when you need to fix it, that's a real skill. That's a real value that a lot of folks don't have, frankly. And a little bit of hard work will get you a long ways. And it really gets you, I think, really now more than ever, it gets you noticed, right?
It gets you noticed, but at the same token, you do it long enough, it's a young man's game. And hey, how can I take this sweat equity and turn it into, all right, let me use my knowledge? Because trust me, on the weekends, whether I'm out on our piece of property, building fence. We've got cattle. I'm still working. Spend a lot of my times. If I'm not with the family, I'm out at my father-in-law's place. He's got some acreage, and we've got cows and fence and chickens and gardens, and it's just there's not enough time.
Yeah. I mean, there is some joy. I always think there's some joy, and especially now, even in what you do, you get to see it more. Like seeing something that you built, though, or cleaned up or fixed or whatever, and seeing it work again. There's some sort of, you get some satisfaction out of that. You actually can see what you did, what you accomplished, and I think there's a real value.
It's to me, I think it's self-serving because I think your work, a lot of people's work, whether you're an artist or singer or some people, when I was doing furniture, they'd be like, man, that's art. And I'm like, well, it's furniture. But to me, it's an opportunity to be able to leave your fingerprint on life. If you build something really well, it's something that's going to outlive you if it's built well. And I got good at building it well. So it was heavy.
Well, that's some.
But
So you were in Galveston, and then you were doing this thing, and it sounds like you had some very interesting challenges there and learned a lot because of flooding and all kinds of other crazy weather stuff, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we didn't call them challenges. I learned on that job to call those opportunities. We had a lot of opportunities on that project. And I couldn't tell you how many times we had opportunities that just never seemed to end. But we got through it. And during that time, that was right before 2008, and all of a sudden, a lot of these big superintendents from all across the United States started showing up on our job. And some of the older ones, they'd been around long enough to know the writing was on the wall. And some of these older guys saw the same thing that some of the other ones prior saw, and they started telling me some things. They're like, hey, look, there's something coming. And just more and more, all their jobs started getting canceled. And I think we had probably 12 big dog superintendents on this job. So I learned a lot from them too. And, but that was an interesting turn of events. So while I was there, we had a contract for the two buildings, a lot of the parking garage, but there was a contract for the developer that was a local guy. It was actually four of them. It was four brothers. And I always had concrete on the job, and they had some concrete in their contract that was outside of mine, and they'd have some forms ready or something, and I'd be like, hey, look, I got an extra truck of curb mix. You got some curbs ready? You want it? And they'd be like, yeah, I'll be right there. We started building a relationship with these guys, and they knew that job was coming to an end, and seeing what was going on with everything right before the collapse. They were like, hey, you know what? If you're not happy here, or you don't think you're going to go on to another project with them, because to be honest with you, I got burned out on that big corporate construction. There's a lot of politics involved with that. And they're like, if you want to stick around Galveston, you can come work with us. And I said, I'll be honest with you, I was doing my own thing before I got here, and I'm probably going to go back to doing what I was doing. And this is a funny story, but I ended up, my time on that project I was out. Too many big dogs there, and I was the new guy on the totem pole. Sure. And they're like, hey, look, you need to get in line, and there's some other people here. Because at that time, I was assistant superintendent. I was basically me and a good friend of mine that's still, Matt Vincent, he's still with Brasfield and Gore. He's way up there now. He and I were pretty much running that project. It was about a $120 million project. Even with all the challenges, we were still getting through it. And they're like, hey, you got to get in line, or we're going to have to let you go. And I was like, this wasn't the deal that I signed up for. I think I'm going to go on down the road. And so anyways, long story short, the four brothers that had this concrete work for the developer, they got a bunch of remodels. We had just finished these condos, just punched them out. And they were going to go in there, demo them, and they were going to remodel them for individual owners that purchased these condos. And so they knew that I walked away from that situation, and they're like, well, we know you don't want to come work for us directly, but didn't you say you had a trim carpentry degree, you know how to do woodworking? I'm like, yeah. Well, like, if you're interested, I got about 12 condos I need trim work in. I'm like, you want me to go back to the same building where I just left? He's like, yeah, you got a problem with it? I'm like, let me make a couple phone calls. So I had to let go basically the whole crew that helped me do all this work. the guys that were employees of B&G, and it was a huge family they were all Martinez's. There 30 of them. Great guys, hard workers, and they kept telling me I'd have to let a group go every so often, every week or so. I'd have to let another group go, and I'd see them going down the elevator and be like, "Hey man, if you ever need us, call us." And the same next group, "Hey man, if you ever need us, call us."
Wow.
So I called one, and his name is Pablo, and I said, "Hey Pablo, man, what are you doing?" He says, "Man, I'm working down the road. I'm not making that much money. They're not really treating us well. They're not even giving us water breaks." I'm like, "Hey, I might have some work if you want to come work with me." He's like, "Where's the job?" I said, "Same place we just left."
Same
And
building.
he laughed. He laughed for about 5 minutes straight. And so we ended up going back there. And it was funny because it was real foggy that morning. And there was 3 triple wides that all of the Braswell guys, the construction guys, all these senior superintendents, and there was a smoking deck. And they all smoked. And at that point in time, I was like 25, 26 years old. So I was young. So I made myself look older. I had a beard and longer hair, trying to make myself look a little bit more visually competent. And then I went, cut my hair, clean shaven. And here I come walking up through the mist, and I can see him sitting there all up there on that triple wide. And I'm like, "Who's that?" And they're like, "Oh, that's old Ben," in an Alabama accent, of course. And they're like, "What are you doing here, Ben?" I was like, "I need to know which one of y'all SOBs is going to open up the gate because I got some work to do." And they laughed for about 5 minutes. But the funny part was, after they would go by and see the work that I was doing, I probably earn their respect more doing that than running that job prior to them getting there.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, no, it was a pretty cool turn of events. And then I get into the flood stuff. So my hometown got hit by Hurricane Dolly.
Okay.
And had all these guys, the Martinez's, 30 of them. And we just got done doing the same work. We knew how to do moisture meters. We knew how to dry it out. We knew what needed to be taken out. Hometown gets hit. My best friend at that, his dad's got an insurance agency down in our hometown. He's, "Hey, you got some guys. There's plenty of work to do."
For sure.
Go down in South Texas, start helping folks put their lives back together, businesses back together. And then I really realized it's not just, I don't know if you've ever been through a flood or a fire, but there's stuff that just can't be replaced. And so these people, it's like a death in the family. Their emotions are all out of whack, and they just need somebody to come in here and be like, "Hey, look, I'm here to help. I'm going to help you as much as I can." Got good at dealing with the insurance, figuring out that game. And then sure enough, Hurricane Ike hits Galveston, and those same 4 brothers, they had all the big high dollar fancy homes in Galveston. They had been their clients for 40 years. And like, "Hey, we need you to come up." And so I did that. And then I did that for 4 years, 5 years in Galveston after that, just doing flood restoration, and just kept going, just traveled.
Well, just like I just think about this. You got these 4 guys that you're kind to and helped them out a little bit. And all of a sudden they're calling you back for stuff. And then you got these crews that you worked with and you treated them right. And then you need a crew, and now you got an instant crew.
I had an army. I had an army of men.
Yeah, you had tons of people. You had as many people as you wanted, and the people, and I think probably even more. It seems like it than most of the other, maybe any other business, maybe not. Finding the right people, maybe it's probably every business. Finding the right people that can do the right work and be dependable. Man, you get those people, that's gold. They get more done. They're more dependable. Their work output's better, and they're not a pain in the butt. Like,
It is. It's a lot of sociology. It's a lot of leadership. It's a lot of leading by example. But it's being fair, treating people fair. Been doing this for a while. There's some people out there that they will cut you. They will, and they won't think twice. They won't lose no sleep about it. It's all about bottom line, money, greed. And I don't really necessarily, I've had to work with people like that on both sides. And it's challenging, but it's how the game's played. And but I think you have to play it your own way. I mean, you get in a position where you can make some changes. You can have some influence on certain things, but ultimately that's pretty much how the game's played. But I think fairness is a big deal. You treat people fair, they're gonna do as much as they can for you. I just there's so many different factors. It's personal character, and so I'm from South Texas, so I grew up with the Hispanic culture. I worked next to these guys from a very young age. So I think that had a lot to do because our industry, at least here in the South, is predominantly Hispanic.
Yep.
Knowing the lingo, knowing the funny stuff that they say, and knowing when to say it at the right time. It's like you got to know your audience. You got to know where there's no bias with me because I treat people, how can I say this? I treat everybody with the same level of respect until they give me a reason not to.
I like
And
that.
so, these guys, they work hard, they work for their families. And I think that with the Hispanic culture, I think that if you can find the best, and I can go through every dynamics, whether it's guys out in the field or guys in your office, and you got just guys on your team in general. I think the sweet spot on the bat is a Hispanic man with a hard work ethic that doesn't mess around, got his personal life in check, he's got a family with kids. And if they're not an alcoholic or they're not doing drugs or whatever, and they're dependable, that is a
Yes.
perfect scenario. And not to say that they're not all good in their own way. Some of these guys, I know their schedule. You don't have concrete pours on Monday because their culture is set up to where they enjoy Sundays. They enjoy Sundays like most people enjoy a Friday or a Saturday. So you don't schedule pours for Monday unless you got like a 3 or 4 day weekend and they got a couple days to let their hair down and they'll
Sure.
be ready by Monday. And it's just stuff like that. But I think that as far as like a team person, somebody you want on your team, for me personally, I played sports, played football, baseball, just was always involved on team sports. And I think that ex-military guys and anybody that has been on a team makes a really good team partner because there's so many things that are already there. Discipline, they know they're coachable or they're trainable. And for me, and I'm the same way. Like I was doing my own thing and I'm like, you know what? I was pulling my hair out, just trying to keep everything going, a one-man show. And I was like, man, I'm ready to be on a team. I don't need to be the storefront anymore. I can be the column in the back. I want to be on a team. And there's a lot of guys like that. I'm not saying guys, I'm not trying to say it one way or the other,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
people in general. Some guys just want to be on a team and a good team. And I think that military guys that know how to be on a team, know how to sacrifice and do the hard things, and guys that played sports. I think that, and I'm not trying to say that everybody else is anything less, but I'm saying right off the cuff, those are some pretty good dynamics you're dealing with right off the bat. Team play.
Yeah, I love that. I think you said a lot there, and the idea of a team dynamic it's so critical because then you're not just about you. No team is just about there's no I in team, all that. That's so true. And I also that you mentioned being coachable because if we're all going to grow, we got to be coachable. And that's one thing I
Oh,
look for people, whether they're on my team or clients even as well. I'm not going to take on a client if they're not coachable because nothing is going to happen. At the end of the day, we got to admit that we can get better. If we're as good as we can be, then we're not going to learn anything, right?
yeah, 100%. And these guys, so when I was younger, and it still happens today, so these guys have been in this industry for a long time. And ultimately, the decisions have to be made by the leader, whomever that is. But that doesn't mean that you can't go and get some advice from the guy that's been doing it for 20 years and he's been wearing a nail bag for 20 years because he's probably got some tricks.
Yes.
He's probably got, and you got to be able to, hey, I see you looking at this situation. We're about to make a decision. I want to hear what you have to say. That doesn't mean I'm going to agree with it, but there could be a collaboration of ideas that get spurred up. From
It's so true. And the people that are on the ground doing the work every day,
they
especially
know
if they've been doing
stuff.
it longer, they know stuff. That's why they're good at what they do. And if we're
100%.
dumb, we're too proud or stupid to ask them their advice, then shame on us because then that's bad leadership, in my opinion.
Well, I think because I don't know it all, and I think that being around successful people in this industry that are knowledgeable, that they're successful in their own right. I know one person in particular. He's a consultant that I've been working with for 4 years. He is just a well of knowledge. He's just, and I've learned so much from him. And we work well together, and it's made me better, and it's made my team better by some of the stuff that he's told me. We've incorporated some of those same things. It's, why have we not been doing this? We don't know. We've never done that. You don't know what you don't know. And so I
Yeah,
think you always have to expose yourself to people that know more and be able to be coaching.
I love it. Okay, so now you're at this company, and what are y'all making now?
So Concrete Constructors, we're a pavement concrete company. That's not all we do, but we specialize in removal and replacement of pavement or anything that is outside the realm of what a normal new construction company would do. We do new construction. We do a lot of big projects for a lot of large property managers and management companies, the Prologises of the world, the Centerpoint properties, and they're located in basically every big city. Prologis is worldwide. Sean and Billy have been able to build these relationships over the years, and we've been able to expand. I think it happens sometimes in companies where it's like you plateau because it's capacity, because you got to be able to manage the more. And I think having all the experience that I had, whether it was trim crews or if it was furniture projects or if it was 10 homes going on, 15 homes going on, remodels, or 15 homes going on, new builds, you got to be able to see the whole picture and be able to manage it because there's a lot of moving parts. And I think that they had a great thing going, and being able to come in here and help make some changes, it took some time because it's like, hey, we've been doing it like this for a long time. Let's look at it a different way. And they've given me opportunities to, hey, let's try this. And then that works out. And then, hey, we got that under control. Why don't we try to tackle this next issue? And then we get that one worked out. Before you know it, you got some wins behind you. And then it's, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. And they're like, go for it.
I love it. Yeah, you got to build up your cred, and then as the owners of the company, you got to let the person that you hired to do the things actually do the things, and they're not all going to work either, by the way. But if let them fail forward, figure out what we can learn, and move on, and there's a big piece of that.
I wish I was in an opportunity to come on board and work with them a long time ago. I'm grateful for all the opportunities and the ups and downs. And there's a saying that I used to tell people because I was always an entrepreneur, and I would tell people, hey, I'm not working for money. I'm working for freedom. The freedom to be able to do what I want to do. It was my passion. Being able to take off if I could, be able to take trips, be able to live where I wanted to live, that sort of freedom. But as I've gotten older, I got a wife and family and responsibilities now. That motto's changed. I don't work for freedom anymore. I just want peace. I want to work for peace in my life. And that's I guess the 2.0 of where I'm at now. It's just, I want to be on a good team, and we do hard things in our industry, in our niche. We tackle structural issues. I was just on site this morning with a structural engineer, and it's the same thing with him too. Just being able to work with someone that has been doing this for a very long time, and working with him for the past 5-6 years, he's looking at me like I'm looking at a guy out in the field wearing a nail bag now. He's like, what do you think? And I've got all my operation guys and superintendents standing around. I'm like, how about if we throw this idea out there? And he's like, I like it. So it comes full circle.
Yeah, it's funny. You were looking at the guys, now the guys are looking at you for your experience. What's one thing you would do differently? You can pick one of your companies, or you can pick your current company you're in. What's one thing, if you could do over, you would have done differently that you got a lot of learning from?
I've told both of the owners of this company that if I would have came here before I really tried to go on my own I would have never been here. I've been able to learn so much from them, not just from a technical, how the bricks and sticks go together in this industry, but also on the business side. Really just getting down to the nuts and bolts and counting the pennies and disputing charges that aren't legitimate on a grand scale. And it adds up. It adds up over time. And I think that the situation I was in prior to this, I didn't have that experience, but I didn't have that time either. I couldn't really do all that with it, keeping all the plates spinning. You're doing the estimating, the accounting, the sales, takeoffs, being on the job site, directing the crews, directing traffic. It's really everything's so large and so fast that if you don't have a good team behind you, things are going to get mixed.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for the path, and I'm grateful to be here. We've been able to do some really cool stuff, really amazing projects, whether it's large pavement expansions or large, difficult. So let me back up a little bit. We specialize in high truck traffic warehouse facilities. We're talking about facilities, the Dr. Peppers, the Amazons. Down here in the South, we have HEBs. We're talking about Taylor Farms. You're talking about truck traffic. There's hundreds of trucks that go through these sites. And we go in there and we get in, we get out as quickly as possible. Because you're dealing with not just the property management company, but you're dealing with the tenants. And sometimes you can have 4, 5, 6 tenants in one building. Mm-hmm. And you have to coordinate this with them, be like, hey, look, I know you want me to get this done, and I know you don't want me to do it all at the same time, but here, let's come up with a strategy. Let's come up with a game plan as to how can I keep you in operations while I'm in operations. And so there's a lot of coordination, communication, teamwork. And so there's not a lot of companies that do what we do at the level that we do it at. And I'm not saying that just because I'm sitting in this chair. It's just because I see it. I talk to these property managers. I talk to these tenants when they've had other crews out there, and they're like, man, y'all guys are top notch, flawless. And getting feedback from all these consultants that we deal with, or these engineers that we deal with, and these owners. Not all your job goes swimmingly, but I would say a vast majority of them, we're on the high end of getting quality work done at a high level at a high pace, and that's what we do. We do about 1,000 jobs a year, and that's not an exaggeration.
Yeah, and so I like the pride in workmanship. I also think that everything we talked about has been about people. You got to know what you're doing. You got to have knowledge base, and you got to continue to learn. But at the end of the day, you got to have the right people. You got to have the right relationships, and manage expectations accordingly with customers, and then keep the plate spinning. Let me guess. Can I ask you 3 questions, and then I'll let you go.
All right.
Number 1. If you're an animal, what animal would you be?
I'd be a white-tailed deer.
A white-tailed deer?
A buck.
Really? Why is that?
I don't know if you do a lot of white-tailed hunting. So we have some large animals as far as the whitetail down here. And to get a trophy, you're talking about a 4.5, 5.5, 6.5-year-old deer. And then we're talking about these big guys. These guys, they are smart. Because they're all, whether it's coyotes or mountain lions or trucks on the freeway or bullets flying at them, to be able to get it that big and that mature, and I'm not talking about like a high fence zoo, I'm talking about low fence, whatever happens, they got to be tough. They got to be tough, and they got to be smart.
I like it. Tough and smart. Okay. I was wondering where you're going with that, because they are a prey animal. So
yeah, but what's not? You got grizzly bears, you got Kodiak bears, you got lions, you got tigers, but somebody's trying to shoot them anyways.
Everybody's a prey, right?
Everybody's a prey.
Okay. Next question. What do you want to be when you grow up?
A good, godly Christian man.
Awesome. I like that. Yeah. Keep getting better.
Get a good father, a good husband, just an example. Got a lot of stories to tell about what God's done for me and my family and my life, and just trying to get that message to as many people as I can.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's been really fun watching any kind of playoffs, but college especially. These guys are all giving glory to God first thing they do when
I
they
know there's four of
celebrate.
them. They all did it.
Isn't that awesome? So
Super
cool.
cool. There's something definitely happening in our country, probably worldwide. I think we take our religious freedoms for granted here. They got Christians that are getting killed all over the world,
Yes,
and they're dying for Christ, literally. And there's so many
literally.
people that are just so naive, and oh, it's our job to let them know.
For sure. And that leads into the last question. You've answered it I think pretty much already, but I always ask everybody, what do you want to be remembered for when you're gone?
Outside of what I just said, good father, good husband,
Yeah.
hard worker, cared about people. I think your legacy is your children, and my mother passed away last September, and she didn't have anything, but she had her children, and we are her legacy. And the four of us actually got up and spoke. We didn't have a pastor, we didn't have nothing. We had a tent with a gravesite, and we all had an opportunity to tell our story about our mom, and she did her job. She did her
It's
job.
amazing. That's amazing to raise four kids by yourself and have them turn out.
We're all pretty much entrepreneurs. I'm not at this point, but we all are pretty self-reliant. Let's put it that way.
That is amazing. I think by need, but also by example. She had to be doing some pretty great things. Otherwise, you wouldn't have turned out the way
Oh,
you
she
did.
was a survivor. She was definitely a deer. She was a white-tailed deer. She was a survivor.
Scrappy, smart, resilient,
Tough.
watching your back.
Yeah.
I love it. Ben, thank you so much for your time. And I've thoroughly enjoyed getting to hear your story and what you're about. And congratulations on some successful businesses and now a successful career building things that trucks ride on and many other structures that you can see hopefully long into the future, correct?
Absolutely.
All right. Hey, I'm calling it. Have a great time. Thank you so much, Ben. I really appreciate you.
No, I appreciate the opportunity to visit with you, and I enjoyed it as well.
That was a great time chatting with Ben. I tell you what, having integrity, building relationships, doing right by people, those are the things that make a difference, whether it's construction or concrete or any kind of business. And the world is a small place. Good people are hard to find. Hard workers are hard to find. And if we find those folks that have integrity, hire them, we'll do great things. And if we are those folks, we'll do great things. Also, one big takeaway, man, people want to help. They especially want to help people that really want to work hard and grow. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Thanks, Ben. Appreciate you.
Liked what you heard? Let's make it real. Schedule your free coaching session today at sugarland.actioncoach.com.